Welcome creators, I'm the homie Yosh, and this is my channel where we inspire creativity, explore game development tools and software that bring the Unreal Engine projects to life. Today we're diving into UEFN, and I'm going to show you step by step how to upload and publish your project, including the dreaded rating certificate. Now, I ran into a ton of problems figuring this out myself, but after some trial and error, I finally found the solution. So if you're publishing a UEFN island and getting errors, and you feel like you never get your island published, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's jump into the UEFN editor. Okay, now that we're in our editor, I'm just going to make a whole new island. So I'm going to just go under island templates here. Make this a little bit bigger here. And I'm just going to choose an island. So this should be, if you already have a completed project, this is just a demonstration. So we're just going to go ahead. I'm just going to click this island so we have something. I'm going to go ahead and create that. I'm going to wait for it to load up. Now I'm keeping my browser open because we're going to be using that to go into the portal. It's going to go ahead and log us into it. So the first thing, the problem that I ran into is after I go ahead and launch my session. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to launch my session. I always get sick. I can't, if I go into my project, I still can't, the launch memory is still grayed out. So I'm like, why is this going on? So I found out a trick. Let me go ahead and launch this session. Now we just wait patiently for it to load up. And as you can see, it just dropped us in the editor. Now here's the funny thing though, the game mode's going on. So if you go back into your editor, and there it is loading us into the editor. But we are in the game mode. So if I would go ahead and hit Alt Tab and I go into my editor here, and if I go under my projects, I still can't do the launch memory calculation. But I'm in the session. So what I found out is go into your Fortnite browser here, go into the game and hit the exit or whatever, the home button, and you want to end the game and you want to be in edit mode. This is something I didn't know. I was like pulling my hair out, like, wait a second, I launched a session, but no, because you're in the game mode, it hasn't finished calculating everything. So that's being left out. So now if you see, if I go back into the project settings, I can go ahead and launch a memory calculation. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So I'm just going to go ahead and calculate the memory. Now that has calculated, you'll see here that it's generated a code. What I like to do is go ahead and copy that code, and I will go ahead and open my notebook, my notepad in Windows, and go ahead, or you can just write it down. But it's it's good to know you get confused. Like sometimes it might generate another password, a code out or something. So just go ahead and put that to the side and just go ahead and hit done. All right, so now as you can see, now I gotta open this up. Go ahead and click that memory calculation in the Fortnite browser and go back into your editor here. And under project, just go ahead and upload or publish project. Now it says before, do the memory calculation. We already did that. I'm gonna put test. Make sure under native language, you put English or whatever your native language is going to be in the game. And then you just go ahead and hit continue. Now, after I published it, it's going to give me a total different code because I believe I did it backwards. So it tells you to do the memory run first, but then you run and the codes are totally different, as you can see here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one, the one I copied, and I'm going to go ahead and copy this one, hit Control C, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it to my notebook, and I'm going to run off of this is going to be the new code that I'm using. Sometimes you just do it this way. It tells you to do the analyst first. I'm in the memory, and I run it, and then it spits me when I publish it. It spits out another code. But I'm just going to run with it. I'm just going to use this code. I'm going to hit done. Now, very important, as you see that now your creator portal has opened up here. Before we get into the creator portal, I'm going to go back under projects, and I'm going to launch the memory calculations. But seeing that I'm still in the game, I'm going to go ahead and end game. Now, after that's done ending, I can go back into my UEFN. I can go under projects, and then I can launch that memory calculation. So I'm going to go ahead and calculate memory, and it's going to go ahead and do that. Now it's going to generate the code. Make sure the two codes match. The one you got from the pushing the project and the 6842, 68. Now yours would be totally different. That's why I say make sure that they both match. If the memory matches with the published, then you're good. So I'm going to put my notebook to the side. I'm going to go ahead and say done. And then you'll notice in your Fortnite browser, just click on that. It would say memory calculations. So now I'm going to hit Alt Tab, and I'm going to go ahead and expand on our generated portal that should pop up. I will put this link in the description where you can sign in, and then you just go to your publishing and it should show where you're publishing. Now this is the time 429, which why I'm publishing it at, and that is the code 6842. So I'm going to make sure it lines up with my notes. So I'm going to put down 6842, so that is correct. So I'm going to go ahead and hit generate release. Now, as you can see that the memory usage is green, that's good. Usually this would happen right here, the verse validation. That takes some time for the processing, but what you can do is you can go back and just keep refreshing your page. One thing, make sure to go back in your Fortnite browser if you're in game mode to make sure that you're in edit mode. Okay, so you see that we're all in green. We got the memory usage, everything's the validation. We're all good. So then we just go ahead and hit continue. If you don't see this just yet, give it some time, just let it be. It probably opened up two browsers, close one, restart the other, just go ahead and refresh. And as long as you have the two codes matching up with your memory and the one you're publishing and everything matches up, well, you can go ahead and you'll get the green light, and then you can hit continue. Now next here, I'm just going to put in a, like this is a test. I'm going to put in here test. This would be your description. Now this would be a good time to go and pause and think about a game docs. If you have a game docs where your title is your description, this is everything you would need right here. Title, description, your tags, like is it a PvP, you know, is it like action? You know, if that's action, you know, you can go ahead and put your tags in there, how many you want. This would be describing your game. I'm just going to put test on all of these here. Yeah, this would be just your bullet points. You know, my capture the flag game be like, first thing to do is capture the flag. But mine was be break into a vault, capture the flag, bring it back to the base. So you just go ahead and put this down, everything you want, title, description, your tags, and then just go ahead and hit next. Now, this is going to ask for your email. What I do is to use the same email, but you can use a public email address, but you have to have an email address for the IARC communications. That's the one that does the ratings. I usually keep my email the same, so I'm just going to go ahead and put my email on this one. And then I just hit the begin questionnaire, and then this is telling you it's going to continue to the IARC website, which you go ahead and hit continue. Now this is very important, depending on, I can't really tell you, oh, what to put, like it's test not to cheat on. This is something you can't just go to ChatGPT and say, hey, this is everything I got, you know, answer these questions for me. This is something you have to sit down and understand, what is your game about? You know, because I was having a problem, I was playing a Fortnite game because I love the battle royale, I love the guns, I love the particles and the eliminations. Well, I was putting in, I was following everything. I wanted to make sure, because Fortnite, there's a fine line between teens, 10 rated or mature, and you have to say Fortnite likes to be more of like a teen as far as rating goes. So you got to make sure that you get that teen rating. Well, because I was promoting violence, and I wasn't thinking, is this realistic? It's like, well, no, it's not. It's a cartoon. It's Fortnite. So I wasn't thinking, well, I should hit realistic. And I was going to 10 plus rating, and then I was pushing my game, and I was getting violated for my contact. They'll take screenshots of your game and post it back showing me that there's guns. And I was like, wow, that violated my IARC rating. So go ahead and go through this. Don't worry, you get the rating. Now I was getting, I'm going to show you what I was getting. After I did this, I was getting this is my rating. So that was not correct as far as my content, because I was capture the flag with guns and everybody's shooting and throwing battles and stuff. So what I needed to get for my game was this right here, the Raptor Island Capture the Gold. So I had a teen rating. Now there's certain areas you're not, like, I can't play in Russia, like, you know, who knew, you know, so I'm gonna get an error as far as like Russia goes. But this is what really matters, this right here. So I got a teen rating, the IARC, the ESRB, sorry. You're worried about their rating, and that's what you want to get. You know, we're not worried about Russia down here. So, yeah, just go through this, and you have to answer honestly how you feel. Like, as far as a 10-year-old, how would it be feel if he's seen a gun? Well, some 10-year-olds think gun are violent, you know, they're brought up that way, and they get scared about it. So just make sure you understand. So I'm like, I'll walk you through this a little bit. I'm making a game. So here is the blood and gore. These are the questions you understand. Like, if I would hit yes, so it would ask me different questions, and you got to think about this. Violence or implicates violence against humans. Well, I was doing battle royale with guns, so I hit yes. Against anything, yes. Violence against humans. Now, with mine being a gun, I would have to put realistic, because it looks like a shotgun. Like, to a 10-year-old, oh, that's a real gun. I don't make the rules, okay? But just make sure you have to understand, this is very important to make sure your game lines up with this logic. Like, I can go through these. I can't walk you through what's your game, but I had to make sure I had to get a teen rating. But just be careful. Just go ahead and understand. Like, ask yourself, how is the violence presented in the game? You know, and just go ahead and put these down. It might be a little difficult. You might get through the end. Like, here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to answer no, because there's nothing violent in my game. Does it promote fear? Pictures or sound? No. Sexual suggestions? No. No gambling. No language. Controlled substance? No. Crude humor. Digital purchase, cash? None of that. Now here, does the game natively allow users to interact or exchange content with other users through voice? Yes. Does the game include the ability to block users? Does the game include the ability to report users? Does the game include chat moderation? Can integration in the game be limited to invite friends only? Does the game share the user's content? No. Does the game containing any content that can be additionally edited, eroded the nation identity of the Republic of Korea? No, it does not. Oh, does the game contain any swastikas? You know, stuff like that. This is crazy. They call it miscellaneous stuff. Does the game advocate commenting acts of terrorism? But again, if you're making a terrorism game, you would have to, you know, click yes. Does the game contain realistic destructions? Like, I can't guide you what your game is. Like, if you want to make your game, yes, but you have to make sure that the rating system knows what kind of game that you're making. So all that's done. Like, I go ahead and click the note for that, but just make sure you walk through violence, blood, and gore. Just make sure you go ahead and get your rating appropriate. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and hit next. Now, as you can see here, I got general. So this is good for PBS. This is okay. SpongeBob, okay. Actually, this is better than SpongeBob. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and click this. By clicking the box, I agree to the terms. Like, it's nothing but an island you jump in on. He doesn't even have any weapons or anything like that, so we're good. They can just run around. So I'm going to go ahead and hit finished. So now that we got our certificate, we got an E rating, ESRB. So that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. So this, you got to follow the guidelines. Like, you can't just put any old thumbnail in here. 19 by 20 by 1080. That's what you need. Your video, do not make it longer than 60 minutes. Make sure that that's correct. I'm not going to put a video in or screenshots. Now, this is a little bit different. I'm going to show you what happens when you take a image that's not appropriate. It's going to give you this red right here. So I suggest if you got an image, just go into Photoshop, go ahead and set your canvas to 2048 by 1024. Just go ahead and fit that in. And then that's how you get your lobby background. The same thing, but it doesn't really tell you what to do until now this is the mistake. Make sure your video is appropriate, because this can go all the way through. You get your game published and then it would say error because this video was, you know, not appropriate, or this thumbnail was not appropriate. So make sure your thumbnails are appropriate to your ratings. Like mine was G rated, so I would need something really appropriate. So let me put something in here. Now the thumbnail is not to the size. So what I'm gonna do real quick, I'm gonna show you a trick. You can do this in Photoshop or you can do this in ChatGPT. So what I do is I just copy this right here, close this out, and I open my ChatGPT and I go ahead and drop that into my ChatGPT. And then I go ahead and take that image and I drop that in and I ask it to do the Photoshop for me. So it's not changing the image, it's just go ahead and sizing it to the correct size, 1920 by 1080. And I found it, you know, for a pinch sometimes. ChatGPT is a little touchy. Sometimes I do like to do it myself, but for this tutorial, it'll be okay. And then just go ahead and download your image. So I'm gonna go ahead and save mine. So I went and saved that, and I got my image right here. I'm going to go ahead and drag my image in, and as you see, it accepted my image because it's the right parameters, 1920 by 1080. So I don't need to add a video, but I'm telling you, make sure your videos not 4K, just some simple 1920 by 1080. Make sure that it's at least 15 to, I would say 45. Like it says 60, but I did mine at 45 and I had no problems. So you can do your video like that. You add your screenshots, same pixel, 1920 by 1080. And like I said, the lobby, what was it? I suggest doing this in your, sometimes ChatGPT has some problem with this, but go into your Photoshop. Like I said, just go ahead into your canvas, set your canvas, and then you go ahead and drag your picture in there. I should do a GIMP tutorial. I would do a GIMP tutorial later on. I don't know when I'll get to it. But after you make sure all your images are correct, make sure they align with your ratings as well. Because when you go ahead and publish live, you'll get a failed, and then you would have to go back and do it all over again. So just make sure all that's correct. Make sure, like I said, I got everything rating, so I cannot have any guns, I can't have any violence, and nothing bad in my images. But all you got is a pirate, you know, standing in a pirate ship from my last game. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit next. Now review, this is like, do you have anybody else's product in your video game? Did you buy anything from a store? Do you have any license? Would you put that in? And you know, any entitlements or whatever? No, I don't have any of that. So I'm just gonna hit next. Any attributes, add any? No, I'm not. So I'm gonna keep this unlisted right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and submit for review. And as you can see, it's processing, it's going through a process. But as you can see here, you do have the code. So you can go ahead and copy the code and play the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it and I'm going to go ahead and put it on my document. Go and paste it here. So now the codes line up. That is the correct code. We're good to go. So we can now go back into Fortnite and we can go ahead and test this game. To do that, I'm going to go back into the Fortnite browser, and I'm just going to go ahead and go to return to lobby. And you can go ahead and close out your editor now. I like to just make sure everything's saved, and you can close your editor. So we don't need this browser, we can just go ahead and focus on this. Remember, you can hit Alt-Tab to get out of the game. Okay, now that we're in Fortnite, all we have to do is go ahead and put that code into the discovery, hit enter, and here's your game. It's not listed yet, so don't expect anything. But like you said, private idling code, and you can go ahead and select and play your game. As you can see, it's loading me into that island. I can go and explore this island, and you can expand off of this. Alright creators, that would be the full process for publishing your UEFN island. I know it can feel like a lot, especially dealing with rating systems, certificates, and all the little errors that can pop up. Trust me, I went through the same headache figuring this out. But once you understand the process, it becomes a lot easier to get your island published and out to your friends. If this video helped you get past the roadblocks, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. And go and check out my new island, Raptors Island Capture the Gold on Fortnite. This island code will be in the description. And like always, stay inspired, keep creating, and I'll see you in the next one.